Ladies and gentlemen, this video is going to be focused on how to build your classes, what to maybe use for perks, equipment, lethals, prestige tokens, should you even prestige, all that type of stuff. So let's get into it. So in Warzone, obviously, if you had a good amount of time to level via BO6 multiplayer and that type of stuff, you're going to be in a pretty good spot. You'll know what guns you like to use, etc. If you're starting from scratch from Warzone and you're only working on a couple guns at a time, the weapon leveling is absolutely abysmal so far. Your player level is great, so I wouldn't be so scared of like prestiging because you can level up your player level pretty quickly. But if you're gonna just feel like annoyed and you don't want to use all the unlocked tokens on like your specific weapons and all that, maybe hold off on prestiging unless you have double XP or they maybe change the weapon leveling because it is obnoxiously slow. So for perks so far, I think the easy one to go to is going to be dexterity. Reduce weapon motion while jumping, sliding, and diving. If you're using Omni movement and playing this game correctly, you want dexterity, and then also has a little bit of the same effect as Mountaineer does, where you take less fall damage. It's like not as good as Mountaineer, obviously, but still pretty good. For the second perk slot, I think a lot of people, honestly, I'll just come out and say it. If you're a bot, you might want to use Tracker because it has the same sort of effect that Combat Scout does before, where it pings the enemies for you when you hit bullets. So if you feel like you're extremely unaware in this game while the audio is still really, really bad, I'd probably put on Tracker. But besides that, I'll probably use Quick Fix. It just isn't working right now. So you're supposed to trigger the health regeneration off of plating and other things, and it's not just really working yet. So once they fix that, I'll go back to Quick Fix. So for the time being, I'm just running Sprinter. I think Tracker is overall the better perk, but Sprinter is just a lot of fun, and I get bored of switching to my knife. Perk 3, I think with how slow plating is in this game right now, Tempered has to be your go-to on this. I think a lot of people might try and use Alertness, Ghost, obviously, to stay off UAVs, and Resolute got a pretty big buff as well, 15% movement speed when you take damage from gunfire. So honestly, I wish Resolute was in a different perk slot so I could use it, but Tempered is just way too good to use. So you just kind of have to right now because plating is really, really slow. And the time that it takes with how fast Omni movement plays in Warzone now, especially on Area 99, you just have to use Tempered in my opinion, or else you're just going to get ran down and not going to be able to finesse and plate up. So Resolute, extremely good though too. You can definitely feel the benefits if you run Resolute or if you have like Specialists on those random times where it's an amazing perk. But Tempered's the go-to for perk 3. Wildcards is where this gets interesting. A lot of people are asking which one they should use if they should run Gunfighter for 8 attachments, and then just buy your secondary. If you buy your secondary with 8 attachments, it's way more expensive. So you need to figure out how you want to play to where what I've kind of come down to is you run overkill on certain guns where you think you can get away with 5 attachments, and you run Gunfighter on the guns where you feel like those extra 3 are extremely necessary. If you feel like you're having like an easy time with a gun, I'd probably opt for overkill. You can rock like 5 attachments. Like a good example is like the PP. The PP919, I feel like you can very easily get away with 5 attachments, but maybe some of the other subs, not so much. Maybe like with the SOG, I kind of liked Gunfighter on it, for example. So figure out what gun builds you're liking, what guns you're kind of leaning towards, and let that make the decision for you, whether you're rocking Overkill or you rock Gunfighter and buy your second. If your squad is just struggling for money most of the time, you guys should probably just all ditch Gunfighter entirely, because you don't want to just waste your entire game economy every single time on buying guns, because you're gonna get shit on. No other way to say it. Tacticals. Stims are insane. I do believe they have come out with a messaging that they're gonna nerf stims, so I would live it up in the meantime while stims are insane. If they nerf stims enough, I feel like it might just go back to a smoke meta, which sucks. So that's what I think is going to happen. Not pleased about it. Lethals, I haven't really got a great chance to use a lot of these so far. The crazy thing with the munitions vests is you can hold 4. So spamming any type of these is really, really good. I think the more that I play Resurgence, your usual sweat throwing knife is probably the play. What I need to test as well is if Quick Fix works on the throwing knives. It's not working with plating. So if it does work with Quick Fix, I will use throwing knives. If it doesn't, it's still just an easy way. But with the movement, the lack of audio, and the TTK, you just don't want to get caught with like not your gun up a lot of times. So yeah, just be careful when you're deciding to use a lethal at all, because people pull up on you and you get dropped extremely quickly in this game. Melee doesn't matter. You get unloaded attack sprint, which is pretty cool. And then once we get into the main weapons, we're going to come out with another video where I'm going to lock down like my top 5 or 6, maybe like a top 3 per weapon class type deal, where I explain what guns I'm liking so far. Just because I have a couple already for you guys. I like the Model L more than the GPR. I think the Goblin and the DM12 Marksman are like the best TTKs right now, and super easy to use, but they are single tap. So that's going to probably piss a lot of you guys off, because a lot of people can't aim and shoot fast at the same time with single tap. So good luck, but they're just kind of the best guns right now from what I'm testing. SMGs feel amazing so far. Haven't done enough testing. Apparently, due to stats, the TTK on the Jackal, the SOG, and the Compact are like up there. But it really does feel like sometimes the PP919 has like a crazy TTK. Same with the Tonto. I'm loving the KSV. And this is the weirdest thing for me so far. The C9 is my least favorite gun in Warzone, but it was my favorite gun in multi. So it's kind of weird how that can play out sometimes. Later on, we're going to go through and test out a lot of these old weapons as well, to see if anything like the Superior, the Statics, the really good meta guns from Warzone past are going to be viable at all here. Because some of them got some crazy buffs, and I'm pretty sure there's one in here that got reverted, and we'll talk about that at another time. Hopefully they fix it. That's what I'd go for. Last thing let's talk about is what to use prestige unlocks on. I made the mistake of using one on Quick Fix because I thought it worked. I think this would be a great option because it's deep in the leveling. If you're going to prestige at all, I think Gunfighter is a great shout. Or maybe like you get overkill at 24, so maybe using it on that just so you have it immediately as well. Tempered, I think, is the best perk in the game, so maybe go for that one. Dexterity, you get pretty early on at like 24, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. Or maybe any of these guns that you feel like is really, really good. Like if you fall in love with like the DM10, maybe use a token on that. So yeah, besides that, stims are a good shout for now, but they could get nerfed. It's a tough call if you're going to use a token on it. So wildcards, here's what I'd rate the priority. The good perks, good wildcards, good guns. That's probably what I'd rate those at. That's it. Good luck. If you have any more questions, come to my stream. We'll keep the gun doc updated for you to get our initial builds. Exclamation guns in the chat. Check out the gun doc. We'll get that going for you guys. Thanks for watching.